What is going on, y'all? Happy football.
Let's go.
Happy football.
Let's go.
Happy football. Let's go,
here.
y'all. Let's go. What's going on? What's going on, Sam? What's going on, Nemo? What's going on, Iron? What's going on, Crumply Heads? Thank you again for joining us a member.
Yeah,
oh, man. I am hyped today. Who's
fired up?
Can you tell we're hyped today?
Well, you got your boys playing today, so I can only imagine where you're at.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm pretty hyped. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of storylines that I've waited a long time, more than a couple of months to just witness.
Yep.
The Gabe Davis storyline, I want to see how that plays out.
I will watch that with great interest tonight. I
want to see if
multiple areas.
I want to see if the narrative on Josh Allen making a point to pass to his receivers, with the added benefit of giving them space to operate to gain yards after the catch. That has been a key thing for him in the offseason. He's been vocal about that. Instead of just passing to them and giving them opportunity to get upfield.
Yep.
Has been big for him. So I'm looking forward to see that. Looking to see how the run game pans out. Looking to see how these rookie cornerbacks look. And even on the Rams, man, I'm excited to see the resurgence of Allen Robinson.
I am too.
I'm excited to see the resurgence of Cam Akers.
Yep, Cam Akers is fully healthy. Allen Robinson is in a better, a grass is greener sort of situation, right? And Matthew Stafford, by all accounts, like the elbow concerns, maybe as recently as a couple weeks ago, appear to have been a little bit more precautionary than anything else. It sounds like he's full go. It sounds like there are no lingering concerns, short or long term, coming into this game as far as his elbow. So that Rams offense should be full go tonight.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be, again, the over/under on this game is 53 points. We're expecting fireworks tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. Christmas morning's not till Sunday, but this is about as good of a sampling as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too. I mean, I'm unbiased. My team's playing, but
your squad is going. Yeah.
I mean, opening day, first game of the year. How many games have been this? Promising in terms of how much offensive firepower can be had on both sides of the ball.
It's anticipated. Yeah, I mean, last year it was who was it? It was the Bucks and the Cowboys. I mean, I would say that game was relatively that was highly anticipated, but it's fair to say the expectations of both combined between these two teams, I would say, supersedes last year's teams. So yeah. This is just going to be a fun matchup, and I know everybody's excited, so let's get right into it.
Yes, sir. Again, Sam, welcome. Nemo, welcome. Iron, welcome. Football is back. Yes, sir. I'm very happy. Can you tell? Can you tell?
It's going to be fun.
Nemo, my rivalry with John has officially begun. Yeah, man.
Do you guys play each other this week or not?
No, he's just, me and Nemo.
You guys just had those dates. You have those dates on your calendar circled.
Yeah. No, I like it. Logan Hampton with the first question. Who should I start, Gabe Davis or Elijah Mitchell in my flex?
First of all.
Gaby baby.
It's Gaby baby, for sure. It's Bay Davis.
Yes, sir.
First of all, Logan and anybody. And that reminds me, I got to check our joint league. If you've got dudes going tonight in the flex, move them out of your flex. Move them into one of their position spots. You want
to remember to do this every Thursday.
Every Thursday. Yep. If you know for sure you're firing up a player on Thursday, put them in one of their solidified position spots on your roster. Leave that flex spot open until you absolutely need it. You never know what's going to happen. Maximum, literally, flexibility, like pun intended. Maximize your flexibility, because if your second best option is a running back and somebody gets hurt, then you can slot that, like a wide receiver gets hurt, you can slot that running back into your flex, right? So I don't know who's your wide receiver spots. Whoever's playing on Sunday, move one of those wide receivers. Ideally, one of the, whoever's playing last, like Monday night, Sunday night, put them in your flex. right? Move Gabe into one of your wide receiver spots, fire up Gabe.
Yeah.
And everybody should do that. Your flex spots should not be for people playing on Thursdays.
And we will remind you of that throughout the season,
we'll do that
every day, every Thursday, but it is something to take note of, and good job on remembering that. And I did move Gabe out of the flex.
I was going to say, I think we had Gabe in the flex, and I was like, we need to get him up into the wide receiver spot.
I switched him out with Pittman. Now, I'm in a position to where, like, should I play Gabe Davis or DK Metcalf? In a revenge in a Denver Broncos Monday night Seattle revenge game where the Seattle Seahawks are going to be down a ton by the second quarter and have to be climbing their way out of a hole for 3 quarters in that game.
Yeah.
Normally I'd go Gabe, but I got to work that out myself. But in terms of Gabe Davis or Elijah Mitchell, it's Gabe Davis.
It's Gabe. It's Gaby, baby.
Now, Nemo's question, a little bit more tricky here because it revolves around 2 players in one game, Gabe Davis or Allen Robinson.
Yeah, this one's tough because the incentive for both is certainly there, right? On one hand, first of all, Gabe's ADP has been ahead of Allen Robinson's all offseason long. So by nature of that, I'm always inclined to start the dudes that I drafted like first or ahead of my other options, at least for week 1, right? Because your by nature, your expectations for that player right now have to be higher. Otherwise, you would have drafted Allen Robinson higher, right? And plus, they're on the road. The Bills could play on the moon. It doesn't matter. Like, they are going to stay aggressive on throwing the ball. On the road is no different. They're going to throw the ball a ton. On the flip side, on the other hand, these are 2 teams that probably feel like they got to keep pace with each other. The Rams are defending their title. They're hanging that banner tonight. They're going to come out swinging. They're going to come out fired up. First game of the season, playing at home, defending their Super Bowl title defense officially starts tonight. There's plenty of incentives to feel good about Allen Robinson. That's not to mention Stafford's elbow trending in a great direction. No reason to be concerned about it for the short or long term. Cooper Kupp had a magical season last year. How much attention does he draw tonight? Not that it probably matters, but is Allen Robinson going to see one-on-one every play? He's going to win that matchup.
Well, I mean, the other wrinkle there is that Tre'Davious White isn't playing. He's on the IR, and both of those guys are going up against the combination of Dane Johnson, I forget Johnson or Jackson, a former 5th round pick a few years ago, and then 2 rookie corners in Kyer Elam, 1st round pick, and Christian Benford, who was a 5th round pick this year.
Okay.
So I mean,
they're 29-year-old vet.
So I think they are going to try to bracket Cooper Kupp as much as possible. They're not going to leave Kupp on an island. So Allen Robinson is going to be open, playing one-on-one coverage, and for what it's worth, Allen Robinson was bad against man coverage last year. Mm-hmm. And Kyer Elam, that's a strength of his. Okay. So I think that the team is going to try to move the safeties over to Kupp to help Dane Jackson, who has experience in the league at least, and let the rookie line up against Allen Robinson and just play man against him and see if they can at least limit his attempts there. But I mean, it's hard not to play an Allen Robinson who's going up against a rookie cornerback who has struggled in camp. So it's tough. It's legitimately tough. Do you go with the guy with that you drafted higher, or do you go with the guy that's going up against most likely lesser competition?
Yep. I think it's a go with your gut call in this scenario. I am privy to, and look, I love Allen Robinson, but again, at least for week 1, Gabe Davis's ADP has steadily been ahead of Allen Robinson's throughout the offseason and into drafts this September. I think by nature, again, Emmanuel Sanders is gone. Shout out. He retired, I think, today or yesterday or recently.
Yeah.
Shout out Emmanual Sanders. Hell of a career.
12 years, right?
Yeah, 12 years, multiple 1,000-yard seasons, 2-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. Shout out Emmanuel Sanders. He's gone. Cole Beasley's gone. They did a lot of in-house promotion essentially this year. The Bills did they brought in Jamison Crowder, who
has already flamed out.
Yeah, respect Jamison Crowder. I mean, he himself has had a very nice NFL career, very strong NFL career. He's a wide receiver 4 on
for a 4th round pick. He did very well in his career, but
absolutely.
His days are about over.
Probably, but yeah, and he hasn't supplanted Isaiah McKenzie, let alone Gabe Davis. I think now. Here's on the flip side, Jefferson out tonight.
I think I love Gabe Davis, obviously, but I think I'm going Allen Robinson here because I know Allen Robinson has top 12 wide receiver upside for an entire season, and he's done it multiple times with crappy quarterbacks, and now he has the best quarterback of his career going up against a rookie in at home against a team that Matt Stafford and the Rams know they gotta keep the pedal to the metal with, to keep up with. I mean, I love Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is going up against a better cornerback duo.
Yeah, Ramsey will see a lot of dings.
With honestly a more consolidated target share. Like Isaiah McKenzie is going to be involved. Dawson Knox is going to be involved. On the other side of the ball, to your point, no Van Jefferson. Tyler Higbee is going to get involved, but we know that Matt Stafford and the Rams and Sean McVay don't pass to the running backs all that much. So it's going to be the Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
It's going to be Well, I mean, in the past, he has made like Joique Bell and Theo Riddick fantasy viable RB3s. So it's not that he doesn't pass to running backs. It's more that Sean McVay's system doesn't allow or promote passing to running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going Robinson here, man.
Yeah, no Van Jefferson.
If you expect the Bills to win, then I mean, late in the game, I mean, you could be looking at the Matt Stafford hyper targeting in on Allen Robinson. If you expect the Bills to be up,
I don't know what to expect as far as who's going to be leading or who's going to be winning this game late. That is a true coin flip.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I would give the edge to the Rams in that department. Generally speaking, opening night, the defending Super Bowl champ, the home team, they do well. They perform well. It's their first game defending the title. They typically win this game. The home team does. The defending champ typically wins this game. Just recent history backs that up. So in that regard, like maybe the Rams are the team with a touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter. But a 7-point lead between these two teams is like, a 1-point game in a basketball game. Like it's not anything. So it's a coin toss. I think both of these guys have a great opportunity to deliver tonight. Robinson is the proven guy, probably in the better matchup with a slightly better opportunity. Gabe is everybody's favorite breakout candidate across the NFL. And all he does when he starts is catch touchdowns. And he's going to start all season long this year. So true coin flip. I think I lean Gabe by nature of ADP. Allen Robinson is certainly viable given the situation. Who do you think is going to win the game? And then maybe go in the opposite direction.
I think the Bills are going to win the game. So
if you think the Bills are going to win, then maybe consider Robinson. If you think the Rams are going to win the game, maybe go Gabe, just by nature of your predicted game script. It's a tough call for sure because they're both incredibly strong options, and it wouldn't surprise me if both of them did really well.
Yeah, just like you, we are probably going to be debating this until kickoff. So I'm sorry we can't give you a definitive answer there. Go with your gut. Then you might be switching. You might be switching somebody out of that wide receiver spot up until kickoff. So yeah. Good luck. This game should be dope, Sam.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Should be fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. He's asking about Dawson. Is Noxie getting a touchdown tonight? Is he scoring tonight?
I think that Josh
Bobby
Allen.
Wagner might have
Josh
something
Allen.
to say about that.
Yeah, but I think Josh Allen might try to get Dawson Knox a touchdown because of what happened with his family recently, so he can,
That's true. There are
lost his brother.
Field, yeah.
So I think Allen might make a point of targeting Dawson Knox in the red zone. Now, Dawson Knox is not a yardage monster. He'll get 3 receptions for 30 yards and a touchdown. You'll be happy with that. But I think he can get a touchdown tonight. And I think they're going to be Allen is going to be looking for him, especially with the cornerback duo that he's going to be going against. Jalen Ramsey, and I'm forgetting the secondary corner for the Rams, who's a good corner in his own right, going up and probably shadowing Gabe Davis with the help of the safeties. It's going to leave Dawson Knox open, going against a linebacker. Lots of times that's probably going to be against a Bobby Wagner, but lots of times when it isn't, they're probably going to be looking Dawson Knox's way. So I think so. I think I'm playing Dawson Knox tonight in a league.
Yeah, I mean, we expect the Bills to be in the red zone a solid amount this year.
Yeah.
And Knox has proven to be a big-time red zone threat.
Just give him a contract,
right. He's clearly a big part of their now and their future. With that, sure, he's got top 6-7 upside for the season, and he absolutely can score tonight. Tough matchup. Bobby Wagner is still one of the best linebackers in the NFL, as far as the complete package. But if we expect the Bills to move the ball up and down the field tonight, then yeah, Knox can absolutely get into the end zone. Again, it's kind of a similar argument for Gabe Davis. Emmanuel Sanders is gone. Cole Beasley's gone. I mean, there's work available in this offense. I will say, if you're playing any DFS or any contests tonight, get Isaiah McKenzie in your lineup on the cheap.
Yeah. He's going to be playing that Cole Beasley role, and Cole Beasley was a high-end wide receiver 3, sometimes a low-end wide receiver 2 in those high-octane matchups, and this is going to be a high-octane matchup, so it could be an Isaiah McKenzie game too. Yep.
If you're playing any DFS contest tonight, throw McKenzie in there. I can't imagine his salary is more than like $4,500 on DraftKings or FanDuel.
I don't know if Dawson Knox is going to be a top 6 tight end, but he should be a top 12. I think he gets a couple of receptions, and I think Allen looks for him in the red zone and scores a touchdown.
Yeah. Maybe not yardage.
Yeah, because honestly, you should never expect a ton of yardage from him. That's not the way the Bills operate. But Kilo, what's happening? Rock out, what's happening?
Kilo?
Surf, what's happening? Good to have y'all in here.
Up, guys?
Second flex, Singletary, Olave, Marquez Valdez, Scantling, pick 1 full PPR. Olave, right?
It's Singletary or Olave for me. Again, it's enticing to get players on good offenses, and Singletary fits the bill. He, pun intended, he's gonna be the beneficiary of an offense that, for the most part, like pretty much against any opponent, should be able to move the ball at will. And everybody has a bad game here and there, right? The Jacksonville game did happen for Buffalo last year. Everybody has a weird, fluky, bad game, right? But on the whole, and certainly week 1 tonight, you can expect the Bills to be moving the ball up and down the field. Singletary will be a direct beneficiary of that, just being attached to a Josh Allen offense. With Olave, I just wonder, are his opportunities fewer because the Saints are playing such an inferior opponent in Atlanta? I like Olave, I do. And full PPR certainly makes him enticing. Michael Thomas,
I think he's out.
I don't know if he's out or not.
I think he's out.
If you think he's out, well, you have to make that call tonight because Singletary's going tonight. If you think he's going to be at best limited, then yeah, Olave very well could operate as the Saints wide receiver 1 this week, the de facto wide receiver 1 this week. The Falcons defense is weak. Their corners are not good. Olave should find, I would say, a decent amount of success. And in full PPR, he obviously gets that boost. I got to check on the Michael Thomas practice reports.
As we talked about yesterday in the members only stream, for y'all members, y'all witnessed it. For everybody else, we're telling you now, we are both skeptical about Michael Thomas and everything that he is saying about his recovery, because we're not sure how much we can believe in the player talking about his own return from injury when the coaching staff has been basically non-committal on what his return is for week 1. I'm inclined to go with the most pro-ready wide receiver, playing in one of the most wide-open depth charts at wide receiver, with a quarterback who, was a few seasons removed from the QB3 finish where he threw for 5,000 yards.
Yep.
And supported 2 top 6 wide receivers in Jameis Winston. So I'm inclined to go Olave, regardless of the fact that they probably won't have to score many points against the Atlanta Falcons. If you remember last year, Jameis Winston came out super hot. I think he had sub 200 yards passing, but had 5 touchdowns passing because he was super efficient. So maybe you're not expecting a ton from Olave in terms of a PPR output, considering it is PPR. But I think he gets a long bomb for a touchdown, or an intermediate to long bomb for a touchdown, which will make you happy in terms of a box score at the end of the day.
Now, according to Sleeper, or this is actually via Fantasy Pros, but it's an update on Sleeper, Michael Thomas is likely to play week 1 against Atlanta. The way he's moving at practice, I'd be shocked if he didn't play. This comes from a beat reporter. Now, these are positive reports for his availability, but I think we got to take this with a grain of salt as far as what we can expect from an effectiveness standpoint. So, yeah. I don't think Michael Thomas will be a decoy if he's out there. I think if it came to that, then they would just rule him out. So I do think he's going to be involved, but this could be a very similar situation to like a J.K. Dobbins or a, where they come along slowly. They bring the player along slowly, right? Could mean Olave gets featured a little bit more in what should be a very good matchup. I do think Singletary has a great opportunity to come through tonight, at least as like a, maybe like a middling RB2, could score a touchdown. Maybe James Cook gets in there and steals some work. Or Zach Moss. You know how that goes, right? The random veteran who comes out of nowhere. Like, it's like, this guy wasn't on my radar, but the team doesn't care about your radar. And they throw the veteran out there out of nowhere.
Right.
And it's a matchup where game script could just favor the passing game all day long. So maybe Singletary gets, not phased out, but just like never really gets an opportunity to get in, into any kind of rhythm. That being said, I think he's, 10 points are in play for Singletary. I think Olave is a little bit more of like a swing for the fences play.
And honestly, I mean, Singletary, I'm really expecting a RB3 performance from him. A high-end RB3 performance from him, but I don't even think he reaches RB2 value this week.
Okay.
Because I look, we know that the Bills pass a lot. And they opened the game last year with 16 straight passing attempts to open the game before the running back had a touch on the ground. And that included passes to running backs, but still. And I feel like this is the type of game where they're going to want to do that. The Bills are going to come out with something to prove.
Yeah.
They believe that they should have been in the Super Bowl last year, and they would have probably beaten the Rams if they went. That's their belief, at least. So they're going to want to show that today. And the way that they do that is with Josh Allen's arm. It's not with Devin Singletary's legs. And they have Dawson Knox. They have Isaiah McKenzie. So they don't necessarily need Devin Singletary in the pass game, especially now that they also have James Cook. So I think outside of him scoring a touchdown in the red zone, I think Devin Singletary we're looking at an RB3 performance for him, and I would rather go edge wide receiver in full PPR.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, go Olave, swing for the fences a little bit.
Plus, it's kind of fun to play a rookie, right? It's kind of fun to just to root for a rookie, and the Saints should be high octane, or at least highly efficient. Maybe not high octane, but highly efficient.
Yep.
Crumply Heads, what's happening, man? Jacobs, Harris, or Devontae Smith pick 2? Jacobs and Smith?
I think Jacobs has to be in there, regardless of scoring.
Who do the Eagles play?
The Lions.
Excuse me. Ooh, okay.
And that's a great matchup. Remember, Harris and the Patriots, we talked about this earlier in the week. Miami has been like some kryptonite for New England over the years in Miami. And the vibes with the Patriots right now are at best shaky. I feel like we're in kind of like we need to see it type of mode with New England. I'm not worried about the running backs per se. I'm maybe more talking about the team as a whole, and that includes the coaching staff. We know that Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson are talented players and one of the strengths of this Patriots team, not just the offense, one of the strengths of the team. So they should be fine. But Miami's a pretty, is it sneaky solid defense, or are they just solid? Like, Miami's got a pretty good defense.
Now, Damian Harris last year in the 2 games that he had against Miami, I looked this up because I had to choose between, shout out, we got a new subscriber.
Hey.
So rock out. Appreciate you joining as a sub, man.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's good to have you on. But Damian Harris had 11 points and half PPR in, I think it was week 1 last year. Same matchup. Patriots Dolphins. And then in the last game of the year, he had 15 half PPR fantasy points. So, I mean, even with the coming out party last year that it was for Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris still improved on his point totals versus the first game to the last game. I think Damian Harris probably falls into that range again, and it's I don't think he has the upside for anything more than 15 points. But 15 points would be great. You'd be happy with 15 points.
I would be, yeah. That's like, I would love that.
Anywhere from 10 to 15 points, you're happy. And I think that's within the range of possibilities for Harris. Does Devontae Smith have more upside? Yeah. Are the Lions sneaky? I think so.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
I'm playing Jacobs for sure.
I think I'm playing Devontae Smith, man. That's a favorable matchup.
And honestly, yeah, and my knee jerk is to play Devontae Smith too, even though I do like Harris this week.
And the Eagles have a better team than the Lions, but we have to remember, week 1 is weird. Week 1 is generally weird. That's if I had to describe week 1 year in, year out with one word, it would be that. It would be weird. And the Lions are at home. They're, and they're healthy, right? They were decimated by injuries last year to end the season. Now they've got their full arsenal. This team at home could score some points. This might not be a scenario. I do think the Eagles ultimately win the game, but this might not be a scenario where, the Eagles are up 21-0 at halftime. The Lions look like the Lions, right, traditionally, and now the Eagles are just like resting on their laurels. They may throw the ball 10 times total in the second half, and they're just running the clock out because they've got the game in hand early. I would not predict that happens. I do not think that's going to happen. I think the Lions are going to be just fine scoring some points at home. I think Devontae Smith is going to be in a great matchup, is going to be decently involved. throughout this game. It's not going to be a rest on your laurels type of game for the Eagles, I don't think. The Lions should be able to score some points. On the flip side, the Lions defense is still very much a work in progress. So with those two combinations, give me Devontae Smith.
Maybe it's the bias from the Lions being on Hard Knocks throughout the preseason, and by nature of that, I've seen much more footage and much more of the Lions than really any other team outside of the Bills, and probably the Lions more than the Bills, honestly. But I've long kind of been a fan of Jared Goff, where other people have stayed away from him. I've on this channel been pretty vocal about, Jared Goff isn't terrible. He can be pretty decent when he has weapons to pass to. Last year he didn't. Start of the year, yes, he had Hawkinson, yes, he had Swift. He had a rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown and Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds, and Quintez Cephas went out early.
Start the season.
And you look at what he was dealing with last year versus what he's dealing with this year. Amon-Ra post breakout. Hawkinson, age 26, close to that age 27 where tight ends typically really start firing. Swift, another year, maybe a third-year breakout for Swift. Brought in DJ Chark, so now he has the outside burner that he never had last year. And when you look at what he did on the Rams, when he was on the Rams, yes, it was a McVay-led offense.
Yep.
But, Brandon Cooks was a top 16 wide receiver for Jared Goff, while Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp kind of flip-flopped years being a top 10 wide receiver. Sometimes Robert Woods was a top 10 wide receiver, sometimes Kupp was. I think now Goff has the personnel to be able to at least replicate or attempt to replicate what he did on those Rams teams offensively. It's not going to lead to wins in the win-loss column, most likely. But his box scores are going to look a lot better, and by nature of that, the opposing team is going to have to run up the score a little bit more than you would have expected against the Lions. So I think Devontae Smith is going to get a fair amount of play today, or not today, but this weekend.
Sunday, yeah.
So I'm inclined to go Devontae Smith. I'm inclined to go Josh Jacobs. So we both agree on this one.
Put on Jared Goff's tombstone. Doesn't totally suck.
Totally suck. Yes.
Doesn't totally suck. Yeah. No, I think I'm fine with that. And then let's wait and see on the Patriots offense, because right now the vibes are shaky. So yeah. Surf, what's going on?
Surf, what's happening?
Start Ayuk, start Tony, or start Drake London? I think I'm going Brandon Ayuk here.
Yeah.
And this is kind of easy for me. George Kittle is all of a sudden trending toward not playing.
And that's the deciding factor for me.
It's just...
it's not trending towards not playing. He's not playing.
He's probably not. He's not playing because he didn't play on. He did. It's already week 1, and he's already.
The report has already come out saying that he is not playing week 1.
Where did that come from?
I saw it on RotoWorld, NBC Sports Edge. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, just more opportunities for Brandon Ayuk. It's Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk this weekend. Just by nature of the increased opportunities, give me Brandon Ayuk. Drake London is very enticing for the course of the season, but he is returning to practice after missing some time due to injury that he suffered in the preseason, and he might be seeing a lot of Marshawn Lattimore for his first ever NFL game action. So that's a nice little get your feet wet type of present for Drake London. And then Kadarius Toney, I'm sorry, I need to see it. He has one game to his credit. And I know the Titans, I've been saying all offseason, the Titans feel like a team that's about to take a step back this year. But I need to see Toney take a step of any kind forward before I advise playing him. I know he's got intriguing talent. I know he's an enticing player. He's probably the best pure pass catcher the Giants have at this point. But give me the player of those three on what we expect to be the best offense without one of their target hogs, and that's San Francisco. So I would go Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, we spoke about Kadarius Toney a few days ago with respect to his huge game that he had against Trayvon Diggs, who had statistically the worst year in the last 6 years of NFL football of any cornerback in terms of yardage given up. Yes, he had the splash plays where he had the turnovers, and that was incredible for a rookie. But he was statistically, in terms of the yardage given up, the worst cornerback in the last 5 years.
Yep.
And Kadarius Toney, yes, he had 13 targets, 10 receptions, 89 yards. Insane game. Didn't score a touchdown. He didn't score a touchdown last year. He had another game last year where he had 12 targets, 7 for 40. Which is only good. You're only happy with that in PPR, and you're still looking at that like, yo, you left some meat on the bone. What are you doing? I'm going Ayuk because of the Kittle news, and it's almost not close to me with the Kittle news. If Kittle was playing,
it'd be a little tighter.
But I'd be going London over Toney. I'd be going and Ayuk. Got Ayuk over Toney. So yeah, Ayuk today. Ayuk. Sir.
I would go London over Toney as well, and that's with London being hobbled. I don't trust Toney yet. I just don't. He's a wide receiver. Like, he's not a wide receiver 3 to me. He's a wide receiver 4.
He can elevate, but yeah.
Sure, but he's not even on the streaming radar for me right now. One game, and the vibes have been weird for him pretty much since he's been drafted. I need to see a couple games of consistency before I even think about it. I can't. Maybe I'm a hater. Call me a hater. I cannot get behind him right now.
No, me neither.
So yeah,
I can't. Outside of Saquon, I really can't get behind anybody on the Giants.
Saquon's the only guy I'm firing up in that offense.
And I am intrigued by Dan Bellinger, but that even that's a dynasty play. It's not a redraft play.
That's not a week 1 play. Nope.
Ayuk, sir. Yep. And do that with confidence. Put him in your lineup with confidence, because if there anybody, Jimmy Garoppolo, he was very good for the San Francisco 49ers for a few years, but he was not a guy that would uncork it downfield. And that's kind of where Ayuk makes his money, on those double moves outside, and then he's downfield scoring a long bomb, especially in an offense where Deebo Samuel is firing on all cylinders. With Trey Lance, you might have a little more of that. I expect you will. So Ayuk with confidence.
Could be.
Kilo, and you reposted this, so I'm sorry that we are a little bit slower moving to the chat through the chat today. We're just enjoying answering all y'all questions, giving you the most thorough answers we can. So I appreciate you being patient.
We'll get to everybody.
Yep. 10 team, 1 QB. Thoughts on holding a backup starting quarterback on the bench? I have Mahomes and Lawrence. Keep T-Law or drop him for another flex spot?
Drop him.
In a 10 team, 1 QB, there are most likely 14 to 15, if not more, quarterbacks on your waiver wire. We're in a 10-team league, and Russell Wilson is on the wire. Matt Stafford is on the wire.
That's stupid.
You don't need to roster 2 quarterbacks in a league where that caliber of quarterback is on the wire.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, honestly, I would add a running back handcuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your favorite running back handcuff for a running back that you think could get injured, but if they were to get injured, that guy that you picked up would slide into the RB1 spot on that squad.
Mike Davis, Jaylen Warren come to mind.
Jaylen Warren would be a great pickup for that type of move.
But I would, at least for week 1, I would see if Mike Davis is out there. I got to check an update on Dobbins. Like that, I'm still, until I see Dobbins line up for that first snap, I don't care what Harbaugh says in his pre-week or his pre-game press conferences. Because what do we always do, or what do we never do? Never trust what a coach actually has to say, good or bad.
If Chuba Hubbard is out there, I want to put him up there too. I haven't been a fan of Chuba Hubbard throughout the offseason, but it looks like he has the upper hand on Donta Foreman in that running back room and has seemingly turned a corner this offseason and has come in to camp and the preseason and all that. A new man by the or at least dubbed as such by the coaching staff. And I mean, we saw what a CMC going down did for Mike Davis a few years ago. Career resurgence to where he was a highly sought after free agent for 2 teams after that. So one of those. Harris is coming off an injury. Go get Jaylen Warren. CMC coming off a couple years of having an injury. Maybe entertain Chuba Hubbard. And then the last guy, whoever you think is going to be the Derrick Henry handcuff. Maybe a Dontrell Hilliard.
Sure.
You might consider that too. But yeah, I would pick up a running back handcuff lottery ticket and roll into week 1 with that.
I think Lawrence will be solid this year, but in 1 quarterback, 10 team, you're not going to start him over Mahomes. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, go get a flyer at running back. Let's see.
Richie, what's happening, man?
What's
Start
up, Richie?
2. Waddle, Thielen, Bateman, or McKenzie. Thielen and Bateman.
Yeah.
Full PPR?
Yeah.
I think I'm going Thielen and Bateman.
I saw a stat today about the last flight. I think this was the great Graham Barfield. I think I'm paraphrasing, but I'm remembering. This is a positive stat. The past 3 or 4 times the Vikings and Packers have played, the over has hit. The over under in points has hit. So there's a fair expectation that points get scored in this game. Jair Alexander is likely shadowing Justin Jefferson. Jair Alexander's a spectacular player, but good luck, Jair Alexander.
Wouldn't want that job.
Yeah, no. Adam Thielen is a threat any given week to catch not 1 but 2 touchdowns. He just caught another one. So I think Thielen is a very strong play this week. I'm fine with Bateman. Waddle was a full participant at practice today. That was a positive sign. And remains a full PPR threat, to catch 8 balls, 9 balls. But we just got to see how this Dolphins pecking order shakes out. Not that we know Tyreek Hill is the clear top dog in this offense, but we also know that Rashad Bateman is the clear top dog in his offense with a quarterback that we feel much stronger about. Now, look, Tua was good enough to support a very good season for Jaylen Waddle last year, but also Tyreek Hill wasn't there. And they didn't have a guy of Chase Edmonds' caliber in the backfield last year. So I like Waddle. I do. I really like the talent. I think I'm inclined to say, even though the Ravens are playing the Jets and Bateman could give it be more of a floor play than a ceiling play this week, just by nature of, I think the Ravens will take care of their business.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not relative ease, but with some comfortability this week. But Bateman is the X wide receiver for this offense. Lamar Jackson is going to be, we got to remember this about Lamar. He's coming into this season without a contract extension.
And we just got more news on that literally a few minutes ago. You said he's not going in. He's comfortable going into the year without a contract if no massive guarantees are added to the contract. So
yeah, so there you go.
He's going to bet on himself this year, which means betting on
ball
Bateman.
Out. Yeah, so bet on Bateman because he's going to target his best players. Yeah, I'll go Bateman and Thielen, and I would tentatively wait on Jaylen Waddle. If he pops off with Tyreek Hill there, okay, awesome. Let's see it first.
Yeah, remember Tua was drafted over Justin Herbert. He has promise. He hasn't realized that at all in the league thus far. He's been benched for the likes of Jacoby Brissett and a dead-armed Ryan Fitzpatrick. But I mean, maybe this is the year where he can put it all together, in which case Waddle would pop. But to me, week 1, Thielen and Bateman, and it's not even that hard of a question for me. And honestly, I could see you rolling with those two well into the season.
Last year in 2 games against the Patriots, Waddle had 4 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown in 1 game. So pretty good in full PPR. That's 16 points. And then in the other game, it was 5 catches for 27 yards but he got another touchdown. So he did score a touchdown in both of his games against New England last year.
As the only wideout.
Without Tyreek Hill in the fold.
Yeah. No, I love Waddle. Got him in a dynasty league. I really like Waddle. I wish he was just tied to a different quarterback and a different offense. But I really love the talent that is Jalen Waddle. But for honestly the first month of the season, until I see it from Tua, I'm fine benching Waddle in favor of those two options.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Ben Wiederman, what's happening, man?
What's up, Ben?
Thanks for joining us. Gabe Davis or Cortland Sutton?
Oh.
Revenge game.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Cortland.
Yeah.
Honestly, revenge game with Russell Wilson in Seattle. Monday night game, spotlight game, the only game on Monday night. He's going back to Seattle and wants to prove to them that, you're dumb for choosing Pete Carroll over me.
Y'all fucked up taking a 70-year-old archaic head coach.
Yeah,
over
let me
a guy
show
who's
you.
gonna be
Look
in
at
the hall.
what Cortland Sutton is. Cortland Sutton is his new DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf was a top 12 wide receiver in the last 2 years. So I'm going Cortland Sutton there. Because and Nick has been vocal about being on the Jerry Jeudy train over Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I've been Sutton over Jeudy.
But I would play Sutton.
And I would play Sutton. So, yeah, feel confident playing Sutton. Great decision to have to make, but Sutton.
It is a great decision to have to make. Again, I default typically to, at least for week 1, who got drafted first, right? And I'm willing to bet you drafted Cortland Sutton before you drafted Gabe Davis. So just by nature of the beast, for week 1, give me the dudes I drafted first. Now, if you drafted Gabe first and then Sutton fell to you, maybe that happened. I'm going to assume it didn't, but maybe that happened. Then by that logic, maybe fire up Gabe. But I think Sutton is the better play this week, and his ADP has steady been ahead of Gabe Davis's all off season. I got to trust the dudes that I spent the higher picks on for week 1. That's just the mindset that I go into week 1 with. So Sutton.
And lost in Russell Wilson's bad year last year, he had the best touchdown percentage of any quarterback before the hand injury.
So there you go.
So he's going to come out firing. He's going to score some touchdowns. No Tim Patrick, no Greg Dulcich. So Cortland Sutton, man. Cortland Sutton. Consolidated target share. Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Rock out. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps.
And we got a defensive question, so this one's for you, man.
Emo.
Miami defense with that voodoo, or Tennessee
Patriot
versus the New York Giants.
The Titans. I'm firing up the Titans. I think they're one of the best streamer options this week, going against Daniel Jones. Again, we just got done not too long ago talking about how we just don't believe in this Giants offense outside of Saquon Barkley. I think Daniel Jones just had another fumble just 5 minutes ago. We expect the offensive line to be better. They lost. The Titans did. Harold Landry. That was a bit right. That was a big loss for them. But at home with expectations, Titans are the defending number 1 seed in the conference. So they certainly have, we can sit here all we want and say, I expect them to take a step back. They don't care about that. They feel like, hey, we're pretty good. We were the 1 seed last year. We're no slouches. And the Giants have, for the past few years, slugged through each season. They have not been good, and they might be on the come up finally, maybe. But until we actually see it, I'm willing to bet against the defense that they're playing against. The Patriots, for all of the concerns about the vibes surrounding them, I feel better about them as an overall team, including the offense, than I do the Giants. So it's a tough call. I think both are in good spots, but give me the Titans against the Giants, who have been relatively hapless over the past few seasons.
And there you have
Jones
it.
is right for
it.
sacks and turnovers.
And yes, the kicker whisperer is in the house.
Yeah, man. I went out of my way to make sure I drafted Evan McPherson. You already know.
Yeah, he did the victory lap too.
Yeah,
He took the victory lap too.
It.
He was in the chat in the draft. McGoatson, yeah, man.
Daddy McGoatson, baby. You
got to pick up a McGoatson shirt. One of the shirts that we have on our
I do
on our
gotta do
public
that.
page.
I do gotta do that. Before we get to that though, D Franchise asked about a quarterback question. Hurts, man.
Hurts. Yeah. I mean, Dak,
Hurts.
no Gallup, only CD and rookie and Jalen Tolbert and Dalton Schultz out there, and then the running backs. I think you go Hurts.
And just Hurts is a significantly greater threat to run. Hurts. Great offensive
finished higher
line
last year in fantasy.
Yep.
Hurts.
Like, Hurts has the superior offensive line. The Cowboys' offensive line is officially a shell of what it has been in seasons past. The weapons are a huge question mark behind CD, like John just mentioned, whereas the Eagles improved in that area, adding A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, year 2. Dallas Goedert has big expectations this year, and Hurts will run. And I think the Lions are not going to, I don't think week 1 at home with that offense, I don't think they're going to get blown out.
No, I'm with you.
So I think the Eagles offense is going to, remain a factor well into the fourth quarter of this game. There's not going to be like resting on their laurels. Oh, they're up 28-0 in the fourth and Gardner Minshew's in there for mop-up duty. No. Give me Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I'll take Hurts there too.
Yep, give me Hurts.
Not bad options to choose from again, but
no.
Hurts. Both are top 12 options, but Hurts is a top 8 option.
Yep.
So, Hurts. And yo, Rojo, much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. That's why you a mod. Much love, man. And Surf, much appreciated for you being in here. If you have any more questions, throw them in the chat and we'll talk it through with you.
Real quick, feels like a good time to announce now that we have a good amount of people in here. If you are liking what you're hearing, and we're trying to help as many people as we possibly can, and I know everyone's excited about kickoff, we got an announcement. This is the final general public Thursday stream for the season. You'll still get us on Tuesdays for ahead of waiver wire, and you'll still get us on Saturdays for Start Sit Help, 6 p.m. Eastern. You'll still get us Sunday morning before the full slate, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're there both days, including this weekend, for Start Sit Help. This will be the last Thursday general public stream of the season. These will become members only streams along with our Wednesday streams. If you are interested in continuing to get those 2 additional streams from us on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we currently have a membership offer for just 99 cents. It's called the Practice Squad level membership. You can find details about it in the first link in the description of this video and all of our recent videos. For just 99 cents, you won't get any other members a month. For just 99 cents a month, you won't get any other extra membership perks, but you will get those 2 extra live streams a week with us on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And we can talk shop with whatever you need on Wednesdays, waivers, trades, way too early looks at start sits, not a problem. And then Thursday, we're taking you all the way up to kickoff and into the game. If anybody's interested in sticking around and watching the game, it might just be John. It might be both of us. But we will be available for all membership levels Wednesday and Thursday. If you're just interested in those 2 streams for the duration of the season through week 17, 99 cents a month. It's called the Practice Squad level membership. Check it out if you're interested.
Yeah, shout out to the 21 people in here. In season for those start sit streams, it does get a little crazy. We had upwards of 30 last year, and our channel has grown since then. So you're going to have competition to get your question answered. And we do only have a restricted amount of time to be able to get to every single question. So especially on those Saturday morning streams, if you come in late, we're going to try to get all those questions answered for you, but we might miss you just by nature of the time crunch. So those 2 extra streams a week might be really beneficial. 8 extra streams a month for 99 cents.
Yep.
So think about it. Something to think about.
So just wanted to throw at least one plug in for that today.
And another plug. We got a redraft draft kit put together by Nick in the second link in the description below. and the season has not started yet, so you can still get valuable information out of it. It is absolutely free to anybody. You just click on that second link below. It's the second link, right?
Second link, yep.
Volume 3 of the redraft draft kit for 2022. 30-plus pages of great content on the quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, going 150 players deep. It's really great content. If you haven't downloaded that, absolutely free. Just click the link and download it, and honestly reap the benefits of Nick's knowledge, because he's been playing fantasy football for 20 years now.
Holy crap! Is that yeah?
Right.
Probably
I mean,
close.
if you were playing it and you were drafting Deuce McAllister, that's 20 years, bro.
Yeah, that's 2004.
Yeah, almost
18 years.
Almost.
Holy hell! I mean, and obviously drafts are pretty much complete at this point, but yeah, it'll give you a little bit of insight as to how I feel about these guys, at least to begin the season. So yeah, something to think about.
Yep. Just two shameless plugs there, but yeah, good information to know, and I hope it helps you out, guys. But
yeah.
back to the chat. Max Fire, what's cracking, man?
What's up, Max?
Kilo, we got to that question. If you missed it,
Yep.
let us know, but we did get to that question. Jake Superflex, good to have you in here.
Or Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, that's true. I see SF and think Superflex.
I mean, whatever, whichever. We'll call you whatever you want, Jake.
Jake from Superflex. Dynasty with contracts. Ooh.
All right.
Interesting. We don't have a lot of experience with that, but very cool format. With contracts, $300 salary, 12-team, half PPR. I got into a bidding war for Breece Hall because I only have Chubb. I got Breece for $68. Sign him or let him go back and try to get lower next year.
I don't think you're gonna get lower next year, and
the team's gonna be improved. The O lineman that got injured, Mekhi Becton's gonna come back. Like, no, I would just sign him for the 68 and call it found money.
Yeah, I mean, it might feel like it might feel like you're regretting that early on. It might be a timeshare with Michael Carter for the first half of the season, but what's the trend for these rookie running backs typically, right? They generally start to take over in the second half of the season of their rookie year. So you might have to be patient. It might feel like pulling teeth here and there with Breece to begin the season. I don't think they're going to give him the keys to the castle right away. But the common trend with rookie running backs who are drafted high, they're traded up for in the second round, right? The Jets did that to get Breece. By week 8, week 9, we're going to start to see that shift, right? Or that's what I would expect, where the amount of work, the volume starts to go in Breece's favor. Maybe it's 50-50 to start, and then we start seeing 55-45. It starts moving up to 57-43, 58-42, and then, say after the bye week, which I think is like week 10 for the Jets this year, I want to say. So, for that stretch run, those last 6 games to end the season, now you can be looking at potentially a 60, 62, 63% snap and touch split in Breece's favor. So you might have to be a little patient, but I would be willing to bet by the end of this season, you're not going to get him for lower than what you got him this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at what happened in Najee Harris, who honestly a comparable prospect, but a year older coming into the league. If you got him for $68 when he came out, there's no way you're getting him for $68 this year.
Yep.
And really, when's the last running back prospect who was, probably a lower cost in year 2 versus year 1? Ronald Jones. And would you even want him at that point? Like, no. If you're like, yeah, just go out, pay what you got to pay to get Breece Hall on your squad. You'll probably be very happy with it in the future.
Yep.
Enrico Baptiste, thanks for the $1.99, man. Much appreciated for
it.
the super chat. Let's see your question here. Rate my team: Joe Burrow, Javonte Williams, Breece Hall, Deebo Samuel, Amon-Ra St. Brown, George Pickens, Kyle Pitts, Dameon Pierce, and DeAndre Hopkins.
So I'm assuming Deebo it looks like your first 3 picks were some combination of Deebo, Javonte, and Pitts. probably followed by Brees, and then Amon-Ra, and then Dameon Pierce, and then you got Hopkins and Pickens.
Or Joe Mixon, or Joe Burrow,
and
factors in somewhere. Yeah.
So I'd be curious to know, Rico, who was your first pick? I was thinking maybe Debo. Did you take Debo in the first round?
And what's the format?
What's the format?
Half PPR, standard, full PPR. It looks like one QB because you only have one there. But and how many starters? What are the starting positions? Is it 2 wide receivers, 1 flex? Let us know there.
Yeah. That being said, I would be curious to know, like, let's say if Debo was your first pick, who were the other guys available there? Because I regularly see both Debo and Javonte going into the second round of most redraft leagues this year. So, I mean, if you believe in your guys, then you believe in your guys. I'm a little worried that this team looks deep, but I'm not sure if there's like an anchor, at least as far as first round draft capital or expectations to hang your hat on here. Debo, Javonte, Pitts, love all those guys. I'm huge on Pitts this year. I think he's going to be stellar. So I certainly like locking up a top 3 tight end. Really like that. I like that you went young at running back. I do think you got some committees that might be a bit of a headache with Javonte and Brees. But you're talking about 2 really talented players at the end of the day. And then Dameon Pierce has been pretty much settled in and confirmed as the running back 1 for Houston. Tough matchup this week against the Colts. So I would say if maybe it's like 2 receivers and a flex, I would maybe consider starting Pickens over Pierce this week. Pierce is going to get the volume, but Pickens is going to have the opportunity. I like the squad. I like the players, and I think St. Brown's going to be just fine this year. I would just be curious to know who you drafted round 1. Or did you draft Debo round 1? And then if so, like, who else was there?
All in all, man, I mean, Joe Burrow is a QB1. Javonte and Hall, great 1-2 punch. Debo should be a wide receiver 1, even though we expect him to fall back down to earth from his wide receiver 3-2 finish. Once Hopkins comes back into the fold, I really like your wide receiver core, Debo and Hopkins. St. Brown, Pickens, that's a good 4 wide receivers for sure. It might be a bit slow at the beginning of the year for Pickens, and that's why I typically don't go all in on rookie wide receivers in redraft leagues, because it takes them honestly a few games to a year to fire. Not everybody is Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, but we do like Pickens. I
like Pickens. Yeah, a lot. I think.
And if anything happens to one of those wide receivers ahead of him, it's Pickens to the moon. Love Pitts. Couldn't love Pitts any more than we love Pitts on this channel. Man. And Dameon Pierce is a solid pickup there. So I mean, I like your squad. I don't know if I would have gone Debo in the first. To me, that's a reach. But honestly, looking at the rest of your squad, I mean, you remedied elsewhere, and you have a very good squad. But what's the format? What are the starting spots? Okay, how many teams?
12 picks, 12 teams, 3 wide receivers, 2 backs. Okay, so you took him so you took Debo, Javonte at the turn. Again, depending on who was available, maybe Devontae Adams wasn't there for you. If you really wanted wide receiver, I might have considered CeeDee. And then at running back I love Javonte, but was DeAndre Swift there? Was Aaron Jones? Maybe even Saquon? Maybe even Kamara? I would have taken all of those guys over Javonte just because, Saquon and Kamara have clear-cut number 1 roles. Swift, I would say, is Swift is farther away from Jamal Williams than I would say Javonte is from Melvin Gordon, although Javonte is one of the most explosive running backs in the league, so you got to be excited
Melvin Gordon
about
still
that.
got it.
Melvin Gordon does still got it. I like Jamal Williams a lot, but I think DeAndre Swift is a little bit more of the 1A in that offense than Javonte might be, at least to start. And then Aaron Jones, I think all of the work in the Green Bay offense this year is just going to funnel through both running backs. I think Aaron Jones is a 65-70 catch upside type of guy this year, and I just always have had a soft spot for Aaron Jones. So I don't know that I would have gone Debo, Javonte at the 1-2 turn. If you believe in your guys, though, I can't fault you for believing in your guys. And that probably means that Pitts fell to you at the 3-4 turn, that's a big win.
Yeah, honestly, outside of the Debo in the first round move, I like the rest of the picks that you made. Debo in the first round, honestly, I hate to phrase it like this. It is a little bit of a head-scratching move. But if you believe in your guys, you're a 49ers fan, whatever, just go and get your guy. The rest of your team looks very good. And in a 12-team league should be very competitive, especially come week 7, once DeAndre Hopkins can be, switched into your lineup.
Yep.
But, I like the squad. It is a contending squad.
Yeah, should be.
Outside of the first round pick that Nick and I are both would be hesitant to go the same way, I think the team is a contending squad. But thank you again for the super, much appreciated.
Yeah,
didn't have to do that,
Rico.
But
and
much
good
appreciated.
Luck this season.
Absolutely, and
I'm just coming back up to
Nico Saf. Thank you for the sub, and we missed it because we were talking about Rico Baptiste's questions, but Jake from State Farm also subbed. So thank you very much, you guys, for the subs.
Appreciate it, guys.
Very cool. Very cool.
Max agrees with you about Goff. Where he thinks he's got a career year incoming.
I don't know about career year.
Well, he's got really good weapons. I mean, he had really good weapons.
You look at his what he did on the Rams. I don't know if he has a career year. I think his career years were with the Rams, especially that first and second season. That Super Bowl
second year.
That second year. Yeah, I don't know if he has a career year, but he has a career resurgence.
Yeah.
Based on perception, absolutely.
And that offensive line is it's very strong.
Yep.
It's not good, it's great.
Yeah, and that's crazy. 7 years from now, Goff will be the same age as Ryan Tannehill. This is why you should go out and buy low on Jared Goff in Dynasty. In Superflex, if you need a QB.
Yeah.
I tried to, and the person didn't want to talk to me.
Yeah, young quote-unquote boring quarterbacks. Yeah.
He feels like he's been in the league about as long as Ryan Tannehill, but that is crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Oh, yo, Xavier, I don't want to hear
Love
that.
Xavier.
But what's Bracken, man? I don't want to hear that.
John is admittedly ready to fire up Allen Robinson in some leagues, but low-key, he's hoping he doesn't do a whole lot against the Bills.
No, I'm hoping he does. I have him in a few leagues, but I'm still hoping the Bills come out on top. Like I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think the wide receivers, the star wide receivers, the stud wide receivers on both sides of the ball are going to get theirs. I just think Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Matt Stafford and is going to come out on top. But what's Bracken, Xavier? Good to have you in here. Kilo, Mike Davis, Kenny Gainwell, Khalil Herbert, Eno Benjamin, Chuba Hubbard are all available.
Ah, man.
DJ Chark, Wan'Dale Robinson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling at wide receiver.
Probably Gainwell, but for the season, Gainwell. But for week 1, man, I'm ready to roll the dice on Mike Davis. I'm not with the current vibes on J.K. Dobbins. If you don't need a spot start, then Gainwell. But if your RB2 or maybe even your flex is a little like meh, give me Mike Davis, man. I think he's going to be a viable plug and play this week. I really do.
See, I would not go Mike Davis. If you don't need somebody, if you're looking for a guy on your bench and you don't need somebody to start theoretically within the first few weeks.
Gainwell.
Then yeah, Gainwell or Eno Benjamin. Because the vibes on Eno Benjamin are very good, but Gainwell over Eno Benjamin. But the vibes on Benjamin are very good. There has been rumors that he has worked himself into being on the field at the expense of Rondale Moore.
Could happen.
But no, Gainwell, I think I would go Gainwell over Mike Davis. I know the vibes aren't super great on J.K. Dobbins, but he is going to come back and he is going to reassert himself in the offense. And Gus Edwards will be coming back at some point. So, the clock's ticking on Mike Davis's time in the sun.
He might be, or you could pick him up, hope he does well this week, and then flip him to the Dobbins owner. But yes, for the season, Gainwell.
And I would just be more apt to go for the season and go Gainwell. But if you need, if your starters are shaky and you went 0 RB, then maybe Mike Davis is the smart play there.
Yeah.
Quarterback films. I have Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson in redraft. How should I approach that? I'm in the same position, man. In a keeper league, I have Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, and both are vying for the RB2 spot, and I'm not sure which way to go completely yet. I have Damian Harris in there right now, and honestly, I might put Ramondre Stevenson in there. When's the last time you heard anything good or glowing about Damian Harris?
It's like, who are your other options? That would be my first question. Unless if they are your options 2 and 3, then yeah, we got something to figure out. But like,
if he's asking, I assume that those are the options that he's choosing from.
I mean, my point is, like, do you have another guy? Like, could you wait on both of them? Is there another guy you could throw in there so you could wait on both of them?
Where's the cutoff to where you would wait?
Right.
Like, I have in my situation, I have Tony Pollard as well.
I would play Pollard over both of those guys.
Okay. Well, my situation isn't important. Quarterback films, let us know if you have anybody else that you can throw in there.
Yeah.
If I have to choose between those two guys, safe play, boring play is Damian Harris. The higher upside play, I believe, is Ramondre Stevenson, because I think he does come with a little bit more catch passing upside, or pass catching upside.
Cast patching.
I mean, Damian Harris can also pass catching, but Ramondre Stevenson, by all accounts, can do it a little bit better. So I think I'm going, in my situation, regardless of Tony Pollard, if I have to choose between those two guys, I think I'm putting in Ramondre Stevenson over Damian Harris.
Okay. Yeah, for upside, you can do that.
So I think that's the way I'm gonna approach it. So that's how I would recommend you approach it. But throw into the chat if you have anybody else you can throw in there, and we can have a discussion about, which way you go with 3 of your flex spots or RB2 spots instead of two.
Oh wait,
players.
he threw it in real quick at the end just now, and we will get to everybody. We promise. We see all your questions. We promise.
AJ Dillon. Oh, I'm going AJ Dillon, bro.
Dude, throw in Dillon, man.
Ooh,
throw
Dillon. No competition.
You see how quickly we both were like, no, yeah, that guy, do it.
Yeah, man. Yo, Dillon. Go Dillon.
I think he's a 1A. I think Aaron, LaFleur called Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon 1A and 1A, and I'm inclined to believe that, because the Packers have nobody else at wide. They have nobody at wide receiver. This is all their work is going to run through the running backs this year. And again,
if Tunyon can't make it for week 1, then Aaron Jones is going to be playing wide receiver.
Yeah, and again, shout out great Graham Barfield. The past 3 or 4 times that the Vikings and Packers have played, the over has hit. There are going to be points scored in that game. AJ Dillon.
Yeah, he's one of the only receiving options that has true rapport with Aaron Rodgers going back years. So
yep.
Yeah, I would go AJ Dillon there, man.
Dante Jones, what's going on?
Who should I start? Gabe Davis, Josh Jacobs, or Amon-Ra St. Brown standard scoring?
Gabe.
Standard? Still going Gabe?
Yeah. Touchdown scorer. Again, I default. Who did I draft first? And of those 3 dudes, I drafted Gabe first.
Yeah, but that's because all the vibes have been. That's because just by nature of ADP, you can get Josh Jacobs later. But Josh Jacobs has been nothing but an RB2 baseline for his entire career. And he's in a contract year, and they're going to run him into the ground, and they should be in scoring position more than they've ever been in his tenure in the NFL. So it's not so cut and dry for me in standard. In any PPR format, I'd be going Gabe Davis. But considering it's standard, and I mean, if Gabe Davis doesn't score a touchdown, you might be hoping that you had Josh Jacobs in there.
That's that tough matchup against the Chargers this week.
So they're going to be throwing a ton too. Yeah. I mean, I guess Gabe Davis, but it's not so cut and dry for me, because in standard scoring, I do like Josh Jacobs as a low end RB2.
Yeah, and that's fair. Again, I'm just gonna, at least for week 1, and I know Jacobs is devalued for ADP, but like also on the flip side of that coin, why is that? whereas Davis was probably by at least a round or two, considering Amon-Ra here, your first pick of these three guys. Start the dude you spent the most capital on. For week one, anyway.
Yeah, I guess you got a point.
I'm going Gabe. Jacobs is a good piece to have in standard. But for week one, give me the dude that I drafted first. And that was probably Gabe Davis.
I remember in the past few seasons, Josh Jacobs has exploded week one. I remember a few years ago, 3 touchdowns, and everybody thought he was going to be a clear-cut top 5 option, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
But he came out the gate hot. So, now again, they didn't have many other options to go to, so he was kind of their entire offense. But, yeah, I guess Gabe Davis. And we have a ton of questions in the chat here. I appreciate all y'all for being in here and asking questions. So we are going to try to make our way through these a little bit quicker than we have, just so that we do get answers for every single one of y'all. Blake Becker, love the content. Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Blake.
Start 2, Gabe Davis, Brandon Ayuk, or Amon-Ra St. Brown? Gabe Davis and Brandon Ayuk.
What's the scoring? If it's full PPR, I might say I'm on Ra over Ayuk, but Ayuk gets a huge boost with no George Kittle. I agree. Like, I think Gabe needs to be fired up tonight. But yeah, help us out with and for everybody, not just Blake. Give us the scoring. Like, and Dante, you did that. Appreciate it. The scoring helps to figure these types of things out. Because if it's full, I know these are all wide receivers, but if it's full PPR as opposed to half, Amon-Ra gets that bump, man. He could be a catch machine.
Yeah. You got a point. Knee jerk is to go Gabe Davis and Brandon Ayuk, but depending on the format, yeah, you got a point. It is full PPR.
It's full PPR. I might say Amon-Ra over Ayuk.
He just said full PPR.
It's full, man. Amon-Ra might catch 7, 8 balls this week.
But Brandon Ayuk could have, 5 for a touchdown and 80 yards.
Yeah. Amon-Ra's at home. 49ers are on the road. I know Chicago's not good, but week 1 is weird.
Oh, it's tough.
I think I'd hedge. I think I would go Gabe Davis for the potential big play.
And then Brandon Ayuk or Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would go Amon-Ra
for
that PPR volume, man. The Eagles have a good defense. But
who is Slay going to be on? Is Slay going to be on DJ Chark?
I guess so. Or he might move around. He might follow Amon-Ra. They also have Bradbury. So it's a tough matchup for sure. But if Amon-Ra catches... Right? Was that?
And Gardner Johnson, right?
Yeah, they have him. They have Avonte Maddox. The Eagles have a deep secondary on paper.
I think I'm going Brandon Ayuk, dude.
You're going Brandon Ayuk because of the matchup? That's fair.
Why not just go high upside with both players? Why not? Don't hedge your bets. Week 1, let's just go balls to the wall.
Go balls to the wall.
Gabe Davis, Brandon Ayuk.
Bigger upside. Yeah, I guess there's more upside with Ayuk. I just think Amon-Ra could easily catch like 8 balls, 70 yards, just like racks up the numbers. I would say Amon-Ra's maybe a safe floor play, and I'll give the edge to like the upside to Brandon Ayuk. Gabe is in my lineup, like no question.
And Nemo, we already got the Sutton versus Gabe Davis question, but now you threw A-Rob into the fold. I would still go Sutton. And then start 2, I would go.
You said A-Rob.
I would go A-Rob.
I still say Gabe. I think Gabe's gonna score tonight. I got a feeling.
Yeah, he's reaching Adam Thielen levels of touchdown production.
Just caught another one.
Blue Crew, half PPR. Drop Chark for Gallup. I would not. I would wait a week because I don't know if Gallup plays this week.
He does. He's already been ruled out.
Right. So I would keep Chark, and then if Chark goes off, I would trade Chark and then pick up Gallup. Trade Chark and a piece for an upgrade elsewhere and then pick up Gallup. That's how I would operate with it. But I wouldn't do it outright right now before any football's been played.
Not quite yet, yeah. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Gallup has made significantly better progress than I think anybody could have anticipated at this point. Something to keep an eye on.
And Ben Weiderman, Demin. Sorry, I threw an R in there. I apologize. But so basically, pick two between Sutton, Gabe Davis, and Waddle. Sutton and Gabe for me.
I would start
Like Waddle.
Gabe over Waddle. I just, I think there's going to be fireworks scored tonight. It's a great sign that Waddle returned to practice in full today. That's an awesome development. It's an awesome sign. Waddle now, Waddle's offense added Tyreek Hill. Gabe Davis's offense said goodbye to Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. Like, Davis got a promotion, Waddle got added competition. So for week 1, that's the differentiator for me.
Yep. Yeah.
And give me a Josh Allen receiver over a Tua receiver.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I like Tua more than John does, but let's call a spade a spade. It's Josh Allen.
Ooh, them bots is back in here. Mods, where you at?
Where
Xavier Dubs, man,
mods?
the queen died today. Yeah, man, she was 96. Crazy.
Yeah, she was.
If you got any grandparents still alive, give them a call. Give them a call. You never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't mean to bring it down there, but just, you got any grandparents still alive, give them a call. Kilo. Someone dropped Burks in my 10-team league, hoping my waiver claim snags him from my bench. I'm dropping James Cook. Okay.
For Burks? I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would do that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, James Cook is an injury away from being a high upside wide receiver 2. Or running back 2. Burks, I don't think, is a injury away from being a high upside wide receiver 2. I think he has a higher upside for his entire career. But for this year, I think I would rather just hold on to the running back lottery ticket instead of going for Burks, who plays at a more placeable position, who outside of one preseason game where he scored a touchdown has had nothing but bad news and cold water thrown on his fantasy prospects for his first year. I think it's going to be tough. We've been spoiled by Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase with wide receivers, doing crazy things in year 1. Now, I don't think that happens for Burks. I think it's more likely that James Cook just gets a little play, starts on fire, earns more playing time, and by the end of the year, asserts himself as the running back that they want moving forward. So I don't know if I would do that, but it comes down to personal preference.
I think I'd keep Cook.
Do you have anybody else you can drop for Burks if you're really dead set on getting Burks on your squad? Burks is not London for me. Burks is a wide receiver that should take some time. I think London can come in, give you 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. I think Burks is going to struggle a little bit to hit that mark in year 1.
The opportunity is there, but the vibes have been shaky.
And it's not like he has a high-octane quarterback to help him with it.
Yeah, Tannehill's solid.
London does either, but I think all else even, I would rather have James Cook. So what other options can you drop? Throw it in the chat. We'll talk about it.
I'd rather keep Cook.
D-Franchise, much appreciated.
Yeah.
Cali Loco, good to have you in. Dylan or Pierce this week? Dylan?
Yeah, I think I got to go Dylan. Because even with the Pierce skyrocket with ADP, Dylan was still getting drafted ahead of him, and for good reason. I think Dylan's going to be spectacular this year.
Yep, I'm of the belief too.
Him and Aaron Jones, I think they're both going to be good. I really do. But give me the guy on the better offense in the better matchup. Dameon Pierce has a tough matchup week 1 against that Colts defense. That's going to be tough. Could come through. Maybe he's just the dude. Maybe he's just the truth. But Dylan's attached to Aaron Rodgers.
Better offense, better pass catcher. I'm going Dylan.
Proven player.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Proven player. Yeah, I'll take Dylan. I'll take Dylan over Pierce.
Xavier Dubs, do you think Pacheco is worth a bench spot 12-man full PPR? Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Lottery ticket again.
Keyword here is bench. Don't start him this week. We got to see how this thing plays out in the Kansas City backfield. But yes, he's worth a spot. He's worth a draft pick. Like, I would draft him in the 12th round, 11th round, even. If I, maybe I pass on running backs a little bit more often than not to start the draft. Maybe I need some running back depth a little earlier than others, or feel like I need to than others. And yeah, I'll take Pacheco 110, 115 picks into a draft. Yes, he's worth a bench spot. If it doesn't work out, within the first 3 or 4 weeks, it's like, all right, I'll cut my 11th or 12th round pick, Yeah. So be it. So be it.
Hey, QB Films, we would much appreciate that.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Much appreciate that.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Yes, sir. Xavier Dubs with some advice, so thanks Xavier for throwing that in there.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. Cook should be solid, but we gotta see about Burks. I don't know.
Yep. Riley VIP.
Up, Riley?
Rondale Moore or Drake London PPR. Drake London.
Yeah. I
think it's Drake London for me.
Yeah, London's got the opportunity. He is coming back from the injury that forced him to miss time the past few weeks, and it's not a good matchup going up against Lattimore.
Now, Rondale Moore, no DeAndre Hopkins, no Zach Ertz. It's going to be AJ Green and Marquise Brown, who we haven't seen play a regular season game with Kyler Murray, and Rondale Moore out there. So week 1, Rondale gets a little bit of, a push up the rankings for me because of that. But he still does not present the upside that Drake London does.
Yeah, I mean, Rondale is competing with Hollywood Brown and AJ Green for targets. Drake London does have Kyle Pitts, but then it's like Olamide Zaccheaus and Brian Edwards are the other competition. And expect the Falcons to be trailing in this game. Now, the Cardinals are playing the Chiefs. That game could be a bit of a shootout. There could be points scored in that game in bunches. So that would help Rondale's case. I think I have to give a slight edge to London. I know he's coming back from the knee injury, but he's logged limited practices back-to-back days this week, today and yesterday. So that's a good sign. Rondale could be the team's wide receiver 3. London will be his team's wide receiver 1.
Comes down to upside for me. I think the upside for Rondale Moore, he would do well to be a Cole Beasley type. And Cole Beasley was great on the Bills, but he topped out as a high-end wide receiver 2 with low-end wide receiver, or a high-end wide receiver 3 with low-end wide receiver 2 weeks thrown in, because he was sub 5'8", and that's just kind of what you're shoehorned into with size like that in the NFL. Size deficiencies like that in the NFL. Drake London's 6'4".
Yeah.
He's just got upside that Rondale Moore does not have. Rondale Moore has the quarterback edge, but he's going to be used close to the line of scrimmage and asked to do a lot of the work himself with his legs. I mean, Drake London is 2 long bombs away from making you happy in your box score at the end of the day. It is full PPR, so that is another edge in Rondale Moore's, that is another check in Rondale Moore's favor. But I think just pure upside, I'm going Drake London here, man. Who'd you draft first? Drake London, most likely.
Yeah, you drafted London ahead of Rondale. I'll take a shot on London as long as he's out there, and it sounds like he will be.
Yep.
And in redraft, Xavier, that apply. Yeah, if you get a starter, get the handcuff, man. Carter makes perfect sense to grab if you can afford the roster spot, and you don't have to reach too far down to get him.
And honestly, is one of the more underrated handcuffs in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine this year. I think he's going to be solid.
Yep.
Brees should take over eventually, but Carter's no slouch.
Kilo got another question. Got Jefferson and Higgins locked into both wide receiver spots. 2 flex spots, full PPR. Choose from Devonta Smith, Kyle Pitts, Brandon Ayuk, Antonio Gibson, or Chris Olave. Kyle Pitts.
Well, Pitts, yeah.
And would you go Gibson? Because he's got the entire backfield to himself. Rushing and pass catching upside.
Yeah.
It's tough to stay away from that.
It feels icky. It feels gross. It feels incredibly dicey. But Gibson can come through with volume, which he should receive. At least for this week and for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Pitts and Gibson, I think. I like the other options you have a lot. Great decision to have to make. But for week 1, I'm going Pitts and I'm going Gibson. As soon as Brian Robinson comes back into the fold, that'll get switched up. But, yep. Cali Loco, yep, you have PPR, week 1, Crumply Heads.
Dylan or Pierce.
Dylan.
That was Dylan or Pierce, so still Dylan.
Yeah. Crumply Heads, Wandale, Alec Pierce, Romeo Dubs, Gerald Everett, Cedric Wilson, Curtis Samuel. Choose 3, unfortunately. Dubs. Everett.
Yeah, I'm okay with Everett. Justin Herbert's tight end.
Not going Wilson, and I'm not going Curtis Samuel. So it's between Alec Pierce and Wandale Robinson for me. And edge goes to the better quarterback. Alec Pierce, they drafted him to be their wide receiver 2. We are hesitant to go all in on Alec Pierce. But if it's a choice between 2 rookies in Wandale and Alec Pierce, I'm going with the guy with the better quarterback in Matt Ryan. So for me, it'd be Romeo Dubs, Gerald Everett, and Alec Pierce. Because Cedric Wilson might not see the field. Honestly, Curtis Samuel might not see the field a whole lot. Might get a little bit more run with no Brian Robinson, but probably won't see the field a whole lot. So yeah, those are the options that I would go with.
Yeah, I do think Samuel is a sneaky play sans Brian Robinson just because of we've seen him in that Swiss Army knife role before, right? Lining up in the backfield. We've seen that before. It's hard to pull the trigger on him for week 1, though, just because we haven't seen Curtis for a little while. He's been dealing with some injuries. That being said, he is definitely an interesting, long-term depth option. Or at least for as long as Robinson is out of the lineup. Because he could very well play some type of backup running back role. And if Gibson continues to struggle, he might see even more work. For now, I think, I like Everett. He might not do a whole lot, but he is a touchdown threat attached to Herbert in that offense in the red zone. And I'm okay with rolling the dice on Dubs among these options. Do I really want to play 2 rookies? Roll the dice on 2 rookies in Dubs and Pierce?
I think with these options, you kind of have no choice. Cedric Wilson is most likely not going to see the field. I think he is now behind Eric Ezukanma, rookie. I think he's now at wide receiver 4. And yeah, Curtis Samuel might get a few rushes with no Brian Robinson, but I mean they still have J.D. McKissick. They brought in Jahan Dotson, so now Curtis Samuel is wide receiver 3 on the depth chart. Probably the 5th in the pecking order because one of the tight ends might even slot ahead of him. I think I would rather just have the number 3 in the pecking order in terms of the wide receivers in Indianapolis with Matt Ryan over. And I know the rookie wide receivers, it's tough, but in this situation, I think you got to go with them and see what happens.
Fair. All right. We're approaching the half-hour mark before this game is about to kick off. So, and we got a bunch of comments and questions in the chat. So let's see what we can do about
a bunch of them were
a little bit
spam, but
the spam is certainly not helping. But we appreciate the mods being on it.
Eduardo, I didn't know you were a member, man.
What's up, Eduardo?
Good shit.
I didn't know he was a member.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for joining.
Congratulations. Yeah, no, thank you. Congratulations for being a member. I'm whatever. I'm not delusional over here. AJ Dillon or Chase Edmonds. Dang, that's tough. In full PPR, I love Dillon this year. Edmonds in full PPR is enticing.
I'm still going AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
And I know quarterback films ain't gonna like it. We'll talk about that in a sec. But AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon.
Again, Packers Vikings overs have hit recently. Shout out Graham Barfield. Dillon is in line to see a ton of work with that Packers receiving core. Edmonds should be the main guy in that Dolphins backfield. Full PPR makes him really enticing. Dillon's in the better offense. Edmonds got the contract. Dillon, you drafted higher, I would assume.
I'm going Dillon.
I think I lean Dillon slightly, but it's close. That's a good problem to have. Those guys are both going to be viable for you all season long. And there will absolutely be weeks where you are firing up both over whoever's currently in your lineup.
But for this week, for me, it's Dillon. Jake State Farm, you got Elijah Mitchell for $27. Good job to help mitigate the early weeks. Hey, good job, man.
We just need to be over that hamstring injury.
Brees and Elijah Mitchell, I like that.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad for some long-term options.
And I'm going to leave this to you, man.
First of all, we just got another
new member. What's going on, Kelly?
Let's go.
Thank you for joning.
That's
2 extra
awesome.
streams a week for you. So in the words of Nick, congratulations. but yo, good to have you. Good to have you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining up on the practice squad again. Really quickly, Thursday streams after tonight will move to members only for the season. 99 cents a month. You get us on Wednesdays and Thursdays in addition to Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday streams. First link in the description of this video for your consideration.
You got a kicker whisper question here?
Was Elliott, Hopkins, and I lost my space.
Joseph.
Greg, is that Greg Joseph, the Vikings kicker? Man, I'll go Elliott. Oh, the Vikings are in a dome as well. And then Hopkins. Who's Hopkins kicking for these days? Is it Washington or is it the Chargers?
I don't know the answer to that. But we do have to move quickly.
Yeah, I know. Dustin Hopkins is for the Chargers. Dang, these are all really good, strong options. I kind of like Elliott this week. I kind of like Jake. He's got a big leg. He's been pretty accurate from 50 yards or so. I think the Eagles have a chance to move the ball up and down the field. I think the Eagles will be winning this game. And with kickers, I like kickers that are attached to the team that I expect to win the game because they're tacking on points in the second half, right? You're more likely to settle for a field goal if you've got a 10-point lead, a 13, 14-point lead. Hopkins, tough matchup against the Raiders. That's like pretty even as far as I'm concerned. And then Greg Joseph, again, pretty even matchup with the Packers. That could be, the Packers could be winning that game and the kickers, less likely to be a factor. I feel most comfortable of those with as far as predicting the Eagles win their game against the Lions. So give me Elliott.
And Kilo, thank you for joining as a member too, man.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Another member to add to our
ranks.
Yeah, man. Much appreciated to both of you guys. Very glad to have both of you in the fold.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate that very much.
Thanks for being just good subs, always in the chat. We appreciate you
supporting the channel.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
And in honor of that, let's get to your question here. Second team, half PPR redraft, Dak and Trey Lance, Connor, Pierce, Dillon, Madison, Sony, Brian Robinson, Benjamin, Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Michael Williams, George Pickens, Gallup, Knox, Tunyon.
Running backs look good. You got Jefferson and Pittman and Mike Williams. Dang, this is a good
your
squad.
Top 3 wide receivers, man.
And you still ended up with Connor, who at least right now has to be penciled in with RB1 upside. We love Dillon. Pierce is one of the most interesting players in the draft right now, or in fantasy drafts right now.
Madison, historically one of the most easy plug and play handcuffs in the world. whenever
good
Dalvin Cook
stash.
goes down.
Good running back depth. Brian Robinson, nice stash for the long haul.
Same with Sony and Eno in terms of just in case of injury, you can throw him in there. So I like your entire squad, man.
Yeah, man. You can fire up Knox tonight. Tunyon may be a little dicey, at least for week 1 while he works his way back. So I would fire up Knox tonight. Yeah, dude, this looks good. And I would fire up Trey Lance this week. I know he's down George Kittle, but much greater threat to run than Dak.
Yeah, Trey Lance for me as well. But
little dicey without Kittle, but should run a lot. Yeah, I like it, man.
Contender for sure.
I like it. Like it a lot.
Yep. Riley, yeah, it is, man, and we love it as well.
Exciting.
Thank you to both of the members that joined today and all 3 of the subs that joined today. Very much appreciated. Kilo, I did not see that Deontay Johnson is already hurt.
Yeah,
I did look it
shoulder.
up. He's dealing with some cramps.
The shoulder injury that he suffered in that last preseason game.
Okay.
He honestly sounded like he was a little pessimistic about his opportunity or about his chances to play this week.
Damn.
I got to did he practice today? He practiced, I think, in a limited session yesterday, but he wasn't, he admitted he wasn't like feeling great. Limited in practice today. Still being bothered by the shoulder injury. Yeah, man. I mean, that absolutely puts both Pickens and Claypool in play this week. I would fire up both if you have them and you're between a couple of options, like other than clear-cut options. Both are going to see a bump in work if Johnson's hobbled. If he suits up, you gotta fire up Deontay. But even still, it sounds like he's going to be hobbled. He's dealing with the shoulder.
And Elout, what's happening, man? Should I flex Waddle or Gibson? I'm going Gibson. No Brian Robinson. I'm still wait and see on Waddle, and almost in most situations, unless it's just a clear-cut tier break. In this case, it's not, so I'm going Gibson.
That is awfully close. Although I have liked Gibson, I've been a big fan of Gibson. His stock has certainly fallen significantly this offseason. Doesn't feel like he's too far away from being in the doghouse even without Brian Robinson. But we've seen him produce at an RB1 level. And now Waddle is dealing with Tyreek Hill. I hate
it's not that close for me for week 1. With no Brian Robinson, I'm going Gibson.
All right. I can get behind it, but I'm not like so behind it the way I wish I was with Gibson. Waddle's good. There's going to be weeks
Waddle
where he
is
outperforms
excellent,
Tyreek.
But I would rather this week, all else equal, the question mark that is the Dolphins offense, I'd be playing Antonio Gibson because he seems like the commodity that's going to give
Gibson
you the most
at home
points
against Jacksonville.
This week.
Jacksonville favorable matchup. New England not so much, although Waddle did score in both matchups against the Patriots last year.
Yeah.
But that was last year without Tyreek Hill. So, yeah, Gibson, but dang, it's close.
Yep.
At least for me. Oh, Enrico logged in.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. But hey, you course corrected and you got a contender. So
yeah, you got Pitts.
Good job for that. Props for sure. Callie, thoughts on Minnesota DST? Thinking of pairing with Indy, good matchups.
Indy this week for sure.
Indy would be my pick out of the two, but
Indy this week for
it's
sure.
a good pairing. But Indy would be my matchup or my defense for the most of the weeks, outside of the tough matchups and versus the easy matchups on either side.
The Vikings, I don't know who the Colts play next week off the top of my head, but I do know that the other not only do the Vikings have the Packers this week at home, then they go on the road to the Eagles next week. That's two tough matchups back to back. I don't know who the Vikings play week 3, but you're probably waiting until at least then. And this early in the season, I don't want to wait 3 weeks just for the sake of rostering two defenses. So I would consider dropping the Vikings and rocking with the Colts. If there are some interesting running back guys that you can kind of wait on for the first week or two on the waiver wire. It's a little too early for me in the season to roster two defenses.
I'm going
if that's
Indy.
your strategy, do you? But I wouldn't.
And
personally.
I'm going Indy all else even. Because honestly, I think they just have
Agreed.
a better defense.
Who do they play week 2? Can you get the next question? I'm gonna check who the Colts play next week.
Yep. And Xavier, I am not praying. Yes, I'm hoping. I'm not praying.
Yeah. Drop the Vikings. Was that Cali? Drop the Vikings. The Colts get Jacksonville week 2. You're firing them up over them. The Vikings playing the Eagles on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. The rostering 2 defense is the type of thing you do later on in the year,
Fantasy
especially when you get to the playoffs. But right now, this is when I would prioritize getting another running back on your team that could be a lottery ticket.
Yep.
Nemo's just gonna flip a coin between A-Rob and Bay Davis. So
Gaby, baby, let us know how that happened or how that goes. Xavier's full in on A-Rob tonight. Hey, you believe in him too?
Yeah, I think he's gonna smash, but I think the Bills are still gonna win.
Yeah, true.
Contrary to Xavier, but yeah. Who would you start between Akers or Sutton?
Hey, Ray, what's going on?
What's going on, Ray?
The Sutton most likely scoring would help. If it's standard scoring, Akers gets a bump there. If it's half or full PPR, give me Cortland Sutton.
I think I'm just going Sutton.
Probably.
I kind of need to see how these splits between him and Henderson work out. Yeah. And with it being early in the year, they might not want to give Akers like the entire workload all to himself. We've heard rumblings that they want to have a 50-50 split. And now we kind of, laughed at that because we saw what they did when Cam Akers was not effective in the Super Bowl. They gave him the majority of the touches over a healthy Henderson at the time. So to us, it looked like it's Cam Akers if he's healthy. But I still want to see how it ends up, how the splits end up working out there. And Sutton's a full-time player with very high upside in a revenge game for Russell Wilson, where he's going to come out firing on Monday night and probably score 3 to 4 touchdowns.
He's gonna want to light him up.
Yeah,
he's gonna want to light him up. Yeah, Sutton, I'm fine with that.
Yep. Thoughts on Cousins this year? We both love Cousins this year.
I'm huge on Cousins this year, Rico. I have him as a I think
we both had him in rankings over Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I think I have him like 15th overall, but damn, he's got QB1 upside this year. Low end, but he's got QB1 upside this year. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I love KJ Osborne, and the Vikings are going to open it up this season. Head coach comes from the Rams. Offense is going to switch to a more 21st century offense where they're going to actually throw the ball on first down. Mike Zimmer, what's up? They're gonna open things up, and Cousins is absolutely good enough to deliver the goods. Yeah, I think he's gonna be really good this year. And Rojo, you're not alone about thinking Stafford is fine. He's fine. I agree.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
He's fine.
And in continuation to Dante's question about who should I start, Gabe Davis, Josh Jacobs, or Amon-Ra St. Brown, standard scoring. He wanted to give us the entire team, so much appreciated there. Herbert, Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, Marquise Brown, and Schultz. And you drafted Gabe Davis, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Marquise Brown. I mean,
Hollywood.
I'm going Hollywood with them down Zach Ertz, with them obviously not having DeAndre Hopkins, going up against the Chiefs.
Yep.
Marquise Brown.
Shootout potential in Arizona with no DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, Dante, fire up Hollywood. I'm going Marquise Brown. I am. I know the vibes have been a little weird with the Cardinals this year, particularly Kyler Murray, but he's still a talent. Marquise is going to operate as his wide receiver 1 this week. Yeah, I mean, there couldn't be a better start as far as expected fireworks for the Cardinals this year playing Mahomes. They are not going to be able to. They got to go pedal to the metal at home. Give me Marquise Brown over those guys. I love Gabe. I got it for this week. I got to give the edge to Marquise, but not just Gabe over all those dudes. Yeah, put Marquise Brown in your lineup.
Yep.
I think Gabe's going to do well tonight, but I'm gonna rock with a dude who can catch a 50-yard bomb for a score. That doesn't take much for Hollywood.
Catch a 70-yard bomb.
I could.
Yeah. He's one of the best. He's one of the best deep ball catchers in the league, playing with the best deep ball passer in the league.
Yeah.
On a talent deficient offense as it stands right now. So yeah, Marquise.
Oh, so hang on. Wait. Sorry. My bad. He listed Keenan Allen and then Marquise Brown. Was Marquise Brown already in your lineup? Because then in that case, then it's like, all right, let's stick with Gabe in there. maybe sorry if I misunderstood. If Marquise Brown was already in your lineup, I would throw Gabe in one of your wide receiver spots, put either Allen or Hollywood in your flex, and definitely keep Allen in there because you have Herbert. Remember, don't play Thursday players in the flex, boys and girls. Keep your options open. Leave that flex spot open until Sunday or Monday. Put your Thursday night players in a position spot. Keep the flex spot open. So I would put Gabe in a wide receiver spot, and I would move Hollywood down to the flex.
Kneecaps is getting offered Russell Wilson and Mike Evans for Josh Allen. It's super flex, and I have Carr and Devontae Adams, but I'm getting thrown trade offers for Allen. Is this dynasty? Is this redraft? What?
Yeah.
What's the situation here? We got to know that before we proceed any further. So throw that into the bottom of the chat, and we'll get to it. And when you throw it in there, we'll jump right back up to this question and answer it because it is, right here, right where we're at in the in these things. But here, Jason, while we wait for that clarification, Jason, pick 2: Mooney, Tony, AJ Dillon, Ayuk, Mooney and Dillon. Mooney and Dillon.
Yeah. Mooney's got a tough matchup, but he's at home and he's
an auto start for me because unless you have clear cut options ahead of him, he's going to be a PPR monster.
He's the clear cut dude for that Bears offense.
He's the only guy there.
He is the only guy.
So he's just kind of an auto start for me. And if I have a choice between Tony, Dillon, and Ayuk in week 1, I'm going Dillon.
Yeah, I believe in Dillon. I do.
Now, Quarterback Films is laughing over here because he watches us all the time, and he remembers at some point us claiming that Dillon is only viable once it gets cold.
Nah. Maybe last year.
Maybe last year, and we have brought up Lambeau in the cold, in the off season. We have brought that up pretty much almost every single time that Dillon has been brought up.
Yep.
But that isn't to, shit on his early season viability by saying that he has late season upside. He still has early season upside too. It's just that come later in the year, he might get utilized a little more than even he was early in the year. But with the deficiencies that they have on offense, the Packers still want to win games. They're still a pass first team. Aaron Jones is going to be a pass catcher, which means they're going to they have good red zone efficiency under Aaron Rodgers. Dillon's going to be in the red zone a lot, and he's a good pass catcher as well as a larger back, which is rare. Dillon has a lot of upside early in the season too. He has slightly more upside late in the year.
Yeah,
but he has early season upside too. So don't get it twisted there. We didn't mean to lead you to believe that.
He can be fired up week 1 with confidence.
Yeah, we didn't want to lead anybody the wrong way saying Dillon only is viable when it gets cold. He has slightly more viability when it gets cold, but he is a very solid early season option. And there are many players I would sit in favor of Dillon.
Yeah. I might have said that last year. This year I'm all in starting this week. So yeah.
Yo, and look at Nemo's wide receiver room. Sutton, Gabe Davis,
I don't
Josh
know what
Palmer,
to do, dude.
Treylon Burks, Allen Robinson. That's a great wide receiver room, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about tonight, man. I think Sutton makes sense. For this week. And then, how'd that coin flip go?
I'm going Sutton and A-Rob, man. And if I lead you in the wrong direction there, I apologize.
I'm going Gabe. And if I lead you in the wrong direction, it's Gabe's fault.
Here's the thing, though. I think both are going to have very good games. I mean, what's the floor for both of them is like 12 points. It's just who's going to score 20.
Yeah, who's going to get that 16, 17, that those extra 5 or 6 points that make the difference.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a bad game or a bad box score at the end of the week playing either. It's just one's going to have a better box score than the other by nature of just that's how fantasy works. I think it's going to be A-Rob.
Yep.
And that's not to, poop on Gabe's viability this week. I think he has great viability this week. It's just Allen Robinson's is a little bit higher given that he's playing against rookie cornerbacks.
Yep.
Xavier, who should I play at tight end this week? Albert O, Austin Hooper, Not Mike Gesicki.
So Greg Dulcich got placed on injured reserve.
Alberto, man.
Last week.
So again, we were talking about Russell Wilson wanting to throw it all over the field. No Greg Dulcich, no Tim Patrick. By all accounts, Alberto is the guy that's going to be filling in for Tim Patrick all over the field. Situationally, they're going to use KJ Hamler. No other guy in the preseason really stepped up for them. They had a couple of sleepers in there, but Seth Williams, Montrell Washington, nobody really stepped up for them. It's Alberto for me. You probably drafted him the first. Again.
Yeah, you probably drafted Alberto first. I kind of like Hooper this week, especially when we're considering how like wishy-washy we are on Burks at the moment. Like, and Robert Woods is back, but Hooper might be like a sneaky guy. But I mean, like John said, you probably drafted Alberto first, and no disrespect to Ryan Tannehill, but the quarterback for Alberto is Russ, who again, he wants to kill the Seahawks on Monday night. He does. I think I'm not crazy about Alberto for the season, but for this week, I can get behind him.
Yeah. No, I'm going Alberto.
Yeah.
The Objective, thanks for joining us. You talk about Khalil Shakir had high hopes, but he's not even being in the game. But not being in the game is damning. If he can't get on the field, is he worth a roster spot? In Dynasty, absolutely. In redraft, no. 5th round rookie, wide receiver. I mean, we're lucky if a 1st round rookie wide receiver pops year one. I have high hopes for Khalil Shakir. He's not worth the roster spot in redraft.
No.
Not on this team.
Not even like 14,
He's
16.
the wide receiver 5 on this team.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, Jamison Crowder, even then Khalil Shakir.
Healthy Jamison Crowder is
Dalton
going
Schultz
to get run.
or not Dalton Schultz. Dalton Knox is going to have play over him. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the running backs did as well while he's just getting up to speed. I think this is, a guy that's 2 to 3 years from prominence. And that's okay for a 5th round pick. That's fine.
That's all right.
Just temper your expectations for this year.
Yeah.
And Kilo, you're going to drop T-Law for Treylon Burks? Okay.
I'd still drop T-Law for Gainwell, but do you?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Gainwell than Treylon Burks
because the rookie, or not the rookie, the RB lottery ticket just is more enticing to me than the wide receiver rookie lottery ticket.
And he's not the direct investment to Miles Sanders. That belongs to Boston Scott. But again, Miles Sanders remains an injury risk.
Is he
practicing
healthy
this week?
Okay.
Yeah, he's practicing this week. But like we've seen how quickly that can change with Miles Sanders. So Gainwell doesn't take a full role like an RB1 workload sans Miles Sanders, but by the nature of the beast, you would think he gets a little extra action in games Sanders has to miss. And Gainwell out caught him last year, caught more balls than him last year. I don't think he outscores him by 7 again this year like he did last year, but showed a propensity for the end zone in a way Miles Sanders, quite frankly, never has. Yeah. Gainwell got 7 scores last year. Sanders has 9 scores in his career.
I thought it was 12.
Maybe it's 12. Maybe
Total.
It's receiving.
Yeah.
Regardless,
he had 6 in back-to-back seasons and none last year. He's had 12 total. But regardless, your point stands. I agree. Ridgier Productions. I have a full PPR question. Should I start Cook tonight, knowing it's just week 1, over Pierce or Patterson? ETN is my halfback 1. Wide receivers are CD, Higgins, and Chase.
Nice.
Love your wide receivers.
Nice.
That's crazy.
No on James Cook, though.
But no, I would play Pierce week 1.
Yeah. I would play. Man, Pierce has such a bad matchup, but he's the dude.
I know you like Patterson. I'm playing
I do like
Pierce
Patterson, and it's
week.
full PPR.
Still going Pierce. Because when you look at the Texans, what other options do they have outside of their top 2 guys? It's between Pierce and Brevin Jordan. No John Mechie. It's Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, and then Pierce might be right there.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going Pierce. Because if you look on the other, with Patterson, he's the third guy in the pecking order there too. And I believe in Davis Mills more than I do in Marcus Mariota. So Pierce, over Cook.
I guess so. Real quick, it is 8:00. We're gonna. Just a reminder, we have start sit live streams Saturday 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm gonna just check and navigate if there are any questions about this game tonight. We're gonna prioritize those first for the rest of this stream for the next 10 or 15 minutes. If we don't get to your start sit question tonight and it does not include this game, again, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, we can absolutely help then, as you know, if your start sit questions don't pertain to this game tonight. But we want to make sure we help people who are between options tonight. So let me see if there are any. With that said, let's see if there are any others. There's so many bots to sit
I'm
through.
looking. Yeah, I don't think there are any more for tonight. I'm looking. Oh, can I start Cam Akers or no, says Madden Goof. Who are your other options?
Yeah. Give us your other choices, and we can let you know. And then, and Nico said, Nico, what's going on? Nico's got a Jefferson, Pittman, Allen Robinson, or sitting with. Does that mean you're starting those guys along with Kelsey and Mahomes? That's a nice little stack.
Yeah, you're not sitting those guys. Those guys are starting for you guys. You ended up with Breece Hall, Ramondre Hines, Hunt. What running back would be a sneaky trade target?
I'll tell you right now, I think the guy who's a sneaky trade target is the guy that you already drafted, and it's Breece. Here's why. You might not like my first part of this answer, but I think Breece maybe has a chance to not fire right away.
But that doesn't help him. He's asking for a guy who he can go out and trade for. If the guy's on his squad, then you can't trade for him.
People are trying to buy low on Breece Hall. I'm just telling right now. I think you already have a
I think you got Burks, you got Watson, you got Dubs, you got Palmer, you got Watson on the bench. Try to throw we've seen that in this chat. Some people are high on Burks. See if you can move Burks. See if you can move a Watson since you have Dubs. Maybe Burks and Watson. Combine them both and go out and acquire a running back. And any of the running backs where ADPs have dipped to a crazy extent. David Montgomery is not a sexy running back to have, but his ADP has dropped 2 full rounds in the past month. Antonio Gibson as well, and Damian Harris as well. Even though you have Ramondre, it might be good to just go out, divest you have Jefferson, Pittman, A-Rob, Juju. You don't necessarily need Burks, Watson when you have Dubs and Palmer on your bench. So I would trade Burks and Watson and see if you can move into a Damian Harris, a Miles Sanders, even though we don't love Miles Sanders, but the value is there to be had on him. David Montgomery, Antonio Gibson, Josh Jacobs, one of the guys whose ADPs have fallen in the past month.
Yeah.
Basically 2 rounds. And that's basically every single one of those guys.
Maybe even like a Clyde. He's boring, but he should be the dude.
Yep.
Something like that. Madden has James Robinson, and that's it. And the report earlier this morning was that Robinson could see significant work week 1. Again, if I get burned on this, so be it. But I'll repeat what I said as it pertains to the Achilles recovery that he has been going through since the end of last season. Availability in this situation does not equal effectiveness. I think I would play Cam Akers tonight.
Yes, me too.
I would play if your only option is James Robinson, play Akers and hope for the best. It's not a great matchup, but he is much farther along as far as he's much closer to being 100% than James Robinson, because Akers suffered his injury at the beginning of, or at the very end of training camp last year. Robinson suffered his Achilles at the end of the season last year. So give me Akers. Robinson might see a lot of work, but you might see a lot of ineffectiveness. I would swing for Akers, because you definitely drafted Akers a lot higher than Robinson in your draft.
Yeah, I would
Robinson's
go with
a long-term play.
Go with
Akers is a guy you can do tonight at home. Tough matchup, but at home, give me Akers.
Kilo helping out So much appreciated. I went back up to where we were. So Kilo, thank you Xavier's, thank you for helping out Kilo.
Yeah.
Kilo, you also have B-Rob on IR, so very good. Start Gibson
Smart.
and then swap him out once B-Rob recovers, and whoever takes the cake in terms of the RB1 job, roll with it from there. But good job.
Smart.
Matty
we
Ice could
appreciate
be
our members helping out in the chat.
absolutely. And Kilo's now a member.
Happy.
Yeah. Xavier, Matty Ice could be better than T-Law this year, in my opinion. Yeah, man.
I mean, he's way more proven. He's way more proven.
It's hard not to be more proven than Matty Ice at this point. Yeah. I think you're onto something there. We both like Trevor Lawrence. We think he's underrated. I don't know if with his pass catchers that they brought in this is the pass catching group that is going to maximize Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sold on that. Christian Kirk has upside, but I mean Marvin Jones and is Zay Jones there, right?
In Jacksonville, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I just don't know if this is the wide receiver core that's going to maximize Trevor Lawrence. So that remains to be seen. But Matty Ice over Trevor Lawrence for this year, I would put money on that. I'd put money on that. Xavier Dubs, what could you trade D-Hop for? Need a tight end. I have Pittman, Marquise Brown, and Allen Robinson, D-Hop, Woods, and Watson.
Who's your tight end?
What tight? Honestly,
was that the Alberto question?
What tight ends are on the wire?
Like, is Tunyon out there?
Mo
I'm not
Ali
trading
Cox.
Hopkins. Yeah.
You've
I don't
heard
want
us
to trade
all
Hopkins
offseason,
right now
man.
at his lowest value.
I'd be trading. Yeah, I wouldn't want to trade D-Hop. No, I'd be looking on the wire.
Like, I would need Waller, and then even then, I don't know if I want to do that because I think I can. Because Hopkins' value is only going to go up by the week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be trying to, see if you can get Kittle from the guy who has to bench him this week. But that doesn't help you this week, so you still need a TE. So I would be looking on the wire for one of those low-cost, high-upside guys and go for there. Xavier, you say Alberto and Gesicki? Alberto, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy
from the
about
wire?
Alberto for
Alberto.
the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, you need a guy for this week.
For just this week, Alberto should be good enough to get you by. But I would not look to move Hopkins yet. His value is only going to increase by the week. I would try to be patient. But if you can get, like John said, like if Mo Ali Cox is out there, let's wait a week on him, but keep an eye on him. If Tunyon is out there, he's got great touchdown upside this year. Again, we've been poo-pooing the Packers wide receiver situation all off season, not just tonight. Tunyon's got a great opportunity to replicate I would say a solid chunk of his 2020 numbers. With no Devontae Adams, no Marquez Valdez-Scantling. If Tunyon's out there, I'm not crazy about Tyler Higbee, but Higbee's value is super low right now. Like, I would wait on trying to get,
bottom line, we got to get to some more questions. Wouldn't trade D-Hop, and I would scour the waiver wire for a tight end option. I wouldn't be trying to trade. And honestly, with Alberto out there, I would have no issues going out Alberto.
Yeah.
Nick might, but I don't. Especially since he's free. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And he does have top 12 upside.
And we got a couple, while we're winding this down right ahead of game time, we got a couple of questions about tonight. Raj, what's going on? Should you start Gabe over Elijah Mitchell? Yes, sir.
Yep.
Put Gabe don't put him in the flex. Put him in wide. Anybody who's playing tonight in your starting lineup, move them out of your flex. Put them in one of their position spots. Put Gabe in a wide receiver spot tonight. Leave that flex spot open for flexibility.
Absolutely. And Mario CP, we got another Allen Robinson or Gabe Davis question.
And we're split on this.
Nick thinks Gabe Davis. I think Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is going up against two the wide receivers for the Rams are going up against two rookie cornerbacks and one second year player who isn't Trey White. It's a guy named Dane Jackson, who was fine as a CB2 but is going to be asked to cover the best wide receiver in the league in Cooper Kupp. So he's going to get help from the safeties, which means Allen Robinson is probably going to be out in one-on-one coverage for the majority of the game against a rookie cornerback.
Against a rookie, yeah. The argument for Gabe is just he's the biggest breakout candidate this year. I think his ADP was generally ahead of A-Rob's, and as excellent as Matt Stafford is, Josh Allen is better. And on the road, a pass-happy offense is going to stay pass-happy all game long. So that's my argument for Gabe. It's a tough call. Both are great. Both are really strong options. Your choice. We're split. Hopefully the breakdown helps to make your decision. You're either going with Gabe, everybody's favorite breakout candidate attached to a high-octane offense and a great quarterback, or Allen Robinson, the proven dude who has been a wide receiver one with terrible quarterback play in the past, gets the best quarterback of his career, and should be in line for a great matchup tonight as the Bills surely give all of the attention in the world that they can to Cooper Kupp.
And you have Kupp in your lineup, so that might seem like you should be putting Gabe Davis in there.
As like a counter. Yeah.
Like I'm playing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis in the league.
Me too.
So I have no issues playing two guys from the same offense when that offense should be a high octane offense. Is all I'm saying with respect to that. So even with Kupp, like I think both of them could get 8 for 100 and a touchdown and still lose the game. That's my hope, at least. It's the hope. But hope that helps, man. Hope that helps. Elout. You think Waddle is going to get lit up with Belichick shutting down the main weapon, Tyreek Hill?
That could happen.
Nobody can shut down Tyreek Hill. And Bill Belichick lost his number one cornerback last year to free agency, and he went to, I think, the Chargers, right? J.C. Jackson?
J.C. Jackson went to the Chargers.
So they're not, the Patriots are not shutting down Tyreek Hill. Straight up. You would need an elite option to be able to even attempt to do so, and they don't even have that.
Right.
And nobody shuts down Tyreek Hill. 13 seconds, bro. Nobody shuts down Tyreek Hill.
I mean, hell, I know it was Patrick Mahomes, but there was a game in New England with Tom Brady at quarterback. Tyreek Hill had like a 3-touchdown game, so Belichick didn't stop him then either.
Yeah.
I know it was Kelsey, it was Mahomes, it was Andy Reid. But like Tyreek Hill's matchup proof, man. He's a stud.
But yeah, I would still go Gibson over Waddle. With all that in mind, I don't think they're going to shut down Tyreek. I would go Gibson over Waddle. Kilo, snag the 49ers defense after the draft. Week 3, I'm looking at Cowboys Steelers.
Let's stick with San Francisco for now. We'll worry about the defenses on a week. I know people like to work ahead with defenses, and that's fair. I understand.
It's smart, honestly, but
what's that?
It's smart to look ahead with defenses, but we are a little crunched for time, so we looking 3 weeks out for us at this point in time with 8 minutes left until kickoff. We do have to unfortunately push that off into the next stream.
The 49ers do play the Broncos on the road week 3, so that is smart to want to pivot off of them, but they play Seattle week 2 at home. You want San Francisco for that game.
New Jerusalem, what's happening, man?
What's up, New Jerusalem? Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh week 3 on the road in Cleveland. No Deshaun Watson. Yeah, that's viable. We'll worry about that maybe like next week or as soon as this weekend. But we got a game that we got to go get ready for.
Is Gesicki a drop? Yes, depending on the other options out there.
Yeah, he's a drop.
Can I leave Hayden Hurst at tight end all year with Burrow as my QB? It's not optimal. And honestly, there are better options at tight end, most likely on your wire, that even if they aren't a stack, are better options for you winning your matchup weekly. I mean, everybody that we mentioned when we were talking about, I forget whose question it was, but I mean, Mo Alley Cox, Robert Tonyan, Gerald Everett, Tyler Higbee, all those guys, viable options over Gesicki, over Hurst.
Herb Smith. Hurst. I don't know if maybe he's available.
Yeah.
I do like Hurst, but it's hard to rock with him all season long, at least right now.
Yeah. And Nico, hey, if you can move, Watson and Burks into a Pierce deal, sure. But with Pierce's price surging, I don't know if I would go after a running back whose price is surging right now. I would go after a running back whose price is deflated right now.
Yeah, that package won't get it done for Pierce.
But it might get it done for Miles Sanders or Damian Harris or CEH or Antonio Gibson or Josh Jacobs. So I would go after one of those guys.
We just got a question at the end of the chat about tonight. Is it Neon? I don't know how to do the whole, or Neon Ice maybe.
Yeah,
Neon Ice.
Yep.
There we go. See, I'm cool. Two wide receivers, one flex, full PPR. You got Robinson, Mooney, Sutton, Waddle, Gabe, in addition to Chase Edmonds and Tony Pollard. I'm putting Robinson and Gabe Davis in those wide receiver spots, and I'm putting Sutton in the flex because Sutton doesn't play till Monday night.
Yes, I would agree.
I'm playing those three receivers. You may have drafted Waddle ahead of Gabe. You may have drafted Waddle ahead of Robinson, but we expect some sparks to fly tonight. I feel comfortable firing up both of those receivers if I can. And in this scenario, I like Waddle. I love Mooney. And I really like those running back options for depth. But you've got some high-end options at wide receiver. I think I would play the two guys going tonight, and then I would throw Sutton in the flex, who goes Monday.
And with the stream winding down, if you guys think we were hard-pressed to answer every question today, it's only going to get tougher throughout the regular season. So again, little plug, if you want 2 extra streams a week with us, 8 extra streams a month for 99 cents, so that you get our attention with maybe only, 15 people in the chat instead of, 30, something like that.
30, yeah.
Then with more chances to get your questions answered, more in-depth, then join as a practice squad member to our YouTube channel for 99 cents a month. You can take a look at the other members' options to see if there's anything else that you would, be interested in. But that might be the practice squad membership is probably the most beneficial thing to everybody right now. But everybody enjoy the season.
We got football.
This is the last Thursday night stream that we're going to be having for the general public. So enjoy the season. We'll see you guys on Saturday night, 6 p.m. EST. Enjoy the game. I hope we steered you in the right directions with respect to the lineup decisions for this week.
We're pulling for these wide receivers hard tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, man, enjoy Thursday. I hope the rest of your week goes well. We'll see you on Saturday, 6 p.m. EST, or Sunday, 10 a.m. EST for all your start-sit questions. And good luck, man. Good luck.
You can also join the Discord. Third link in the description. You can get your question answered with a little bit more time as far as start-sit over the course of the weekend. So Discord, evergreen invite, third link in the description of this video and all of our recent videos. You do not need to be a member to join.
And I am going to try to set up a little bit of a watch party for the members for this game.
Yeah.
So keep if you guys aren't doing anything for this game except sitting at home and chilling, might be of interest to you if you're a member. But everybody, we're going to be signing off of this stream. Everybody have a great night. Enjoy the game, and we will see you on Saturday.
Let's go.
Peace, y'all.